right, everybody. Welcome to a Sunday morning stream. Thank you for being here. We've got a slew of amazing guests today to talk about a very important and fantastic event that Get Rollin puts on called the MexTour. And this is a tour that goes through many cities in Mexico, and they connect many communities, many people, many bladers together so they can help each other, they can find community, and overall just have a fantastic time. Welcome, Dale, Metha, Phill, and Cam. What's going on, guys?
What's up? How's it going?
How's everybody been?
Doing great.
You been good?
Good, great, happy, grateful to be alive.
I love to hear it. Yeah, me too, my friend.
I'm excited to see 5 people here. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
this is a big panel. I love it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Metha, do you want to quick just give your spiel as to what the MexTour is?
Yeah, man. Like, so the tour was born out of a conversation with Cameron at his garage when we were like creating Get Rolling, and we were talking about ideas of things that we could do. And you know, I lived in Mexico before, and I connected with a lot of the community before, and I knew Daniel Delgadillo, who is the main organizer in Mexico, and he was explaining to me the situation similar to what we have here in the United States, where we don't have an organized body for a federation representing inline skating, and he was saying like it would be great to have people being able to work together, and you know, come together to be able to start creating something seriously, to have representation within the federation. And I was like, man, I know everybody from here to there, we should just do a tour. And he's like, oh, that'll be perfect. And from there, Cameron and I were talking about it, and then Selena got on board, and all of a sudden we were just trying to make it happen and coordinating from north to south, from south to north in Mexico. And then the idea was that we're gonna do things that can activate the community and motivate people within the community to start not only skating again, but to start helping those people that are already doing stuff there to get more track, to get more momentum, and start doing more stuff with other people that are already there, so they can network. And now they have representation in the federation. They went to the World Game skates. 2 of the people that work with were coached, and that's the goal of it. That they get the ability to sustain the community for longer, but also to be there for the new generations. Because we teach a bunch of kids during this. We do a lot of demos, and we also do a lot of conversations with the local people. Conversations that go from organizing to just, you know, having somebody like Phill around telling them like keep doing it, and that takes them to the next year. All right, let's do it.
Yep. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, no, I've always admired from afar the idea of something like this. So seeing you guys do it so well is really, really cool. But then beyond that, it's easy to see the impact that it has, and that in its own is absolutely phenomenal. But one of the highest commendable things to me, in my opinion, is the fact that y'all work so well with kids, because it takes a special heart. My girlfriend works in childcare, and children are the future, and they also are very hard to take care of and to teach sometimes. So you guys do so much good work. And stuff like this, teaching them the fundamentals like stretching beforehand, things like that. There's a lot of great stuff that happens. It's very commendable. Fun to watch too. But I wanted to ask you guys. Here's Dale. We can start with Dale. Do you guys have any fun stories from the tour?
Oh man, there's a lot of stories from the tour.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
I'm trying to think fun ones though. I mean, there are a lot of fun ones too, a lot of hard ones, but overall, it's just like such a crazy experience, honestly, because this is my first tour going on it, and it's 3 weeks long, and traveling from south to north was really a crazy experience. I think in that in that video you put together, Josiah. Like I mentioned, that one night we had a 16-hour bus ride.
Hey,
It's pretty crazy. I think we had 2 of those actually.
Yeah.
It was really wild.
Dang.
And then I also mentioned, I remember if you watched that video, I was just really amazed in terms of how many kids there were skating. Like, I was like really taken aback because you don't really see that in the States, you know. But down there, there's just so many kids just showed up, and I was like really amazed, honestly, by that.
Yeah.
And I thought that was actually really cool, just seeing how many kids there were.
Absolutely.
And their parents were involved too. Their parents are there.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, a lot of parents showed up. That first stop in Chiapas, there was that right here. It's the American school in Chiapas. I don't know. There had to be at least like 24 parents or something like that, just chilling, watching the kids skate in an after-school program. I mean, that's pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah, and then at one point, one of the moms takes like the furthest gap and lets her kid look at this right here. Full trust in your spawn there, man. That's commendable.
Well, I think just actually fully trusting the teacher, you know.
Yeah.
Like you get that kid over me.
Exactly, Daniel.
Yeah, at least the dad was like closer right here.
Yeah,
she was
but,
risking
it. They weren't about to be upset at the kid if the kid landed on them.
Yeah, Daniel, come on.
All right. So that shot with the kicker ramp.
Yeah.
When we were in Chiapas, that ramp right there, pause it just like that, please. When we were in Chiapas, and this was where like I hopped on the tour because I always have to come a couple days late because it starts when my daughter's birthday is. My daughter's birthday is November 9th, so I always join the tour November 10th, but it starts before that. And so my first stop was Chiapas, and we went to San Cristobal, to this really janky indoor skate park. And when I say janky, I mean like the ramps look kind of like that, but bigger and wobbly. Some of them have holes. Some of them don't have kick plates, or some of them the kick plate is just bent up, so you have to like jump to get on the. It was just this gnarly indoor park, and we put on a great demo. Like Fry and I just went ham. Like Fry was doing disaster hard spin top souls in his A-frame. I was like jumping off everything big in the spot. Like we were really putting on, and towards the end, it started to become more of a party because the space had some kind of a like fashion show practice. So we had to like cut the demo off to allow like these hundreds of people to now come in and do like this fashion show demo that then turned into like a rave. And so while this is all going on, we're just goofballing. And there's a ramp that's just like that kicker, but only bigger. It's about waist high and probably 8 feet across, just like that. Yeah, except it's facing the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And so I don't know who started it. I think it might have been Daniel, but somebody decided they're just going to run and just dive and slide down the ramp, which then turns into everybody running and like jumping and diving and like doing funny stuff, sliding down the ramp. Well, our friend Darko decides he wants to, I'm going to back up so you can see, he wants to jump sideways. Hold up. He wants to jump sideways and land like in this laying down position on the ramp. And it's filmed. He jumps in the air, he's smiling, and he goes, punches himself in the face. When he hits the ramp, his fist punches his head.
No.
He slides down the ramp like making a crazy face. So we watched the video in slow motion over and over again, and he tries to smile through, like punch.
That's great.
Oh man. We were just there's a lot of really fun, silly antics that happen on the tour because you can't be serious the whole time, you know. It's too many days on the road, too many stressful situations, and so there's a lot of just little silly things that happen on the daily basis, like on the tour, that, you know, if you get that thought in your head and remember it, you just bust out laughing because it's just nonstop. Somebody's doing something funny or saying something funny.
That's awesome, man. I love that.
Yeah, it's like a camaraderie between all the people on the tour, you know, like you're so close together, and like traveling in these areas and having all these experiences, and then you're also serving the kids. So there's like all these different spaces that you have to exist in, you know, like, and it's 3 weeks of that. And so, yeah, there's going to be like these crazy, silly moments and these things that happen. And we all have millions of little stories, but it's like this part where we all get together and we're like, okay, we're all on the same page. We're all on board. Here we go. This is for the kids. This is for this place. This is for the tour, you know, like that's the coolest moment. And that's when like you start seeing the effects of like what you're really doing with this group of people. And like, oh man, it's a really rewarding / hard thing to do, but yeah
man, that's cool. No, especially that part where you can start to see the effect that it has. That really is very rewarding. But that's awesome, man. So
it also has an effect on the other people, right? Like, I think watching this video, I'm sorry, Josiah, but like watching this specific portion of the video, when we got to this skate park, we had like around 40 people waiting for us.
Wow.
30 people were all like, they compete pro.
Huh.
Like, and we were there to supposedly do clinics. So we had to reinvent ourselves, and we did games. And when we did the clinic, the way we did it was like, okay, we split it again into groups, but first of all, we're gonna have games where everybody can compete together and do silly stuff. Like we started doing the stall games. Who can do stalls in the spine? And at one point, we had like the guy that was the best in the whole skate park and a quad girl going toe to toe because they were the only ones left. And that's so fun, you know, like just an eye opener. Like, you know, basics applies to everybody, and fun can be regardless of level. And that's like, for me, is like really, really like eye opening to be in that spot where we're like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? All these people like know more than us.
That's awesome, man. I love that. The scene seems really healthy down there. I love that.
It is big. I think it's the biggest skating scene I've seen in my life. You know, I've gone to a country and I've heard people go to Spain and it's bigger. I've never been there, but honestly, like this scene is huge, right? Like
yeah. So I've been to Spain and got to enjoy that huge scene out there and like all the most amazing spots. And what I would say about Mexico that makes it very special is the bladers that I've interacted with, you know, in the United States, like my homies even, you know, that I grew up with in the crew and things like that. Like we skate together and we love each other because of that, and we've grown to respect each other. But the Mexican people, they do everything together. And so like when we go to Guadalajara, for instance, there's like a crew of like 15 amazing rollerbladers, but they're not just rollerbladers, they're family. Like they eat together, they go hang out, they do stuff outside of rollerblading together. And I think that that's really special because I don't know, I'm sure that does exist, but I just personally haven't seen it on that scale. It seems to me like more people, you know, in the US and larger countries hang out to skate together, but like outside of that, like not eating food together and not like bringing your families together and that sort of thing. And so the scene down there is way more deeper of a family oriented thing. At the end of every session, it's always like, okay, let's go to like get food, let's go to drink, and like people are sharing things. Like here, you know, when we're skating, we go to a gas station or, you know, stop for food. Everybody's kind of getting their own. Like I got my own drink, you know, like Metha gets his own drink, you know, that sort of deal. In Mexico, when we stop, is everybody throwing a couple dollars, we're gonna get some big drinks and everybody just passing around, you know, like everybody let's throw in and we're gonna get a big meal and we're all gonna eat together. Like it's it's really neat. It's a different perspective, and it's a lot more of a family perspective as opposed to a we rollerblade together perspective.
Yeah, that's awesome. No,
Yeah.
that shines through in a lot of this footage too. It did. It seems very family like oriented, and I love that.
Hmm.
Cool, man.
And it's interesting too that they roll with all ages. You know, it's like you'll see guys in their 30s, 40s, kids in their teenage years. You know, like somebody brought their daughter out. You know what I mean? That
Yeah,
sort of deal.
man.
But everybody's skating, everybody's together, everybody's respectful. Like everybody's involved. It's not the adults aren't leaving out the kids. You know what I mean? Like, you know, nobody gets left out. Nobody gets left behind. Like everybody is made sure that they're looked after. Everybody's made sure that they're encouraged to try, like, you know, whatever spot we're at. And people are taught at all the spots too. That's something I think is really interesting. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, like, when we skate with each other, we might give each other like pointers, you know, here and there. Like, you know, you see your friend trying a trick and you see they're not doing something right, but they don't notice it. You're like, hey, you know, turn your shoulder a little bit, you know. But with them, it's literally like we're at a session, we're at a street spot, like what he's skating in the video, big street spot, and there's like a 7-year-old trying to do the spot, you know, and people like Daniel will hold this 7-year-old's hand, throw him up on the rail or throw him up on the ledge, you know, and like guide them down, like the sort of stuff that I feel like, you know, at least me personally, I didn't have that coming up. Like when I came up, the better skaters had their own crew, didn't really associate with the skaters that weren't so good, and so we had to figure it out ourselves and like together. And so it's really neat being around such facilitating people, you know, that like, you know, they want everybody to be involved regardless of your age, you know, or skill level.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's really beautiful about blading, man. It's cool to see all of that, but specifically what you guys do, you guys bring it in so much. You focus so heavily on all that. What'd you say, Metha? I missed it.
I said that water was really cold. I'm sorry. I just remember.
What's the weather like when you guys are down there? Is it super hot?
I mean,
kind of depending on where we were, honestly.
Yeah.
Like Chiapas, you know, we started in the south, so it's gonna be hotter down there.
Yeah.
And then as we went north, it got colder actually. So we ended up. What's Fry's hometown again?
Saltillo.
Saltillo. That was actually surprisingly cold. Like I was not expecting that. Honestly, I was lucky I had like a small puffy with me, and so I was actually able to like stay warm. But I was like shocked as to how cold it was actually, because I think it's more in the mountains, and it's more north and stuff like that.
Yeah, and desert too.
Yeah. And so yeah, it got cold at night, colder than you'd expect. So yeah, if you ever come on this tour though, make sure you have like something to stay warm, because like sometimes we don't even know. Like I mean, Metha sorts out the tour stops and stuff like that, and so every year it kind of changes a little bit. I think there's some things that have been consistent, but each year there have been different stops compared to other years. So you know, we don't final. I mean, I don't know how close is it to being final right now, Metha, for this year?
Final. So the last 2 stops are the same. So yeah,
Okay.
and is when you really need the jacket.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely up north. You definitely need something warmer. So definitely recommend something like that.
Yeah, so this is a good transition. If people want to get involved, how can they do that? And then we'll get into some tips after that as to like what you would suggest. But let's start with if people want to get involved, how can they do that?
They can DM us through Instagram, and you know, we can talk about it. But like honestly, if you're gonna be involved and you want to volunteer and come in the tour, basically just get your ticket to come in and your ticket to come out. You travel with us through the country as part of the team, and we, you know, you lodge with the team. You know, you stay with us as we go. So we cover those portions, and we offer 1 meal a day as part of the tour. But that all you got to do is cover your ticket in, your ticket out, and just come in the tour. Be willing, like, to be able to help in the tour. You know, whether it's teaching, whether it's bringing some skill set that you think is going to be useful for the tour, that is going to help the tour go better. Then we can talk about that too. Like for example, Cameron 1 year, he really helped us with the social media a lot. to posting and posting live or like daily about the tour really helped us a lot because it lets people see where we are, what we do, what the tracking of is. And honestly, and during the tour, the next city is always really, yeah, because they're like, okay, what's gonna happen next? They're gonna come here. What like all of that really helps, stuff like that. But you can also, like, if you really want to learn the method that we used to teach, we can teach you the method. You can teach it forward. You can take that tool with you, or you can learn how we organize the tour too, and ask all the questions you want. We're completely open on how we go about things. It's not a perfect science. It changes a lot. We know that dealing with bladers in the community is not something that is as easy because not everybody is as um, you know prepared to organize or like ready to supply answers to several things. And blader time, people are always late or delayed, so we have to be ahead of schedule trying to plan things. But that's part of it. So just hit us up, the DM us through Instagram, or like donate directly through the link at getrollin.org.
Yep. Um, to add to that, there's a lot of people that do want to come or do want to help out in some way, but they aren't able to. And so even just like sharing the flyer, sharing the video, helping us get the word out about the tour, if you can't donate or join us, also helps us out too. Just raising awareness about what we're doing. And Metha, I have so much love and respect for Metha. He's great, and I appreciate him for organizing this tour for us each year. And the beauty about it is it has the ability to expand. And so we spoke on trying to get more places, adding like some Central and South America to the tour if possible, and just trying to see really how far we can reach with it. And so that takes the whole community. And so whether you're a part of the tour or not, and so anything helps out. Just share the videos, share the tour schedule, help us get the word out that this is going on, and let's get more people interested, let's get more people involved, but also let's show more people what we're doing so that maybe they might be inspired to form their own version, and spread their love to the communities that they can reach.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, the end goal right now is to be able to hand this over fully to the Mexican organizers, so we can focus on what Phill is saying. Like, we do have two more other communities waiting for us already lined up. It takes work, it takes time. Like, this is the first year that we're gonna have 7 locations, but it's also the first year that 5 of the locations are completely supported by the government, and that's a huge deal. Like, before we've got like 2, 3, some semis. Now some of those semis are completely formalized, and they have like backed up documentation of like what the plan is. They're gonna do formal certification. It's getting to a level where now we can hand it over to them. If they actually are able to continue the tour the way it's set up right now, they'll be able to have a way that is profitable for the tour to sustain itself, and it'll give them a way to make a living for the rest of the year to these organizers, right? So the goal is to be able to do that somewhere else.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's fantastic. I really like that. Yeah. So I guess what are some tips for the tour? Like, what would you suggest if anybody was able to make it out? What would you suggest they bring? What would you say is the best way for them
Pack
to experience the MexTour? Pack light. Okay.
Pack light. Yeah. So this is the main thing about the tour is we're on the go, and so we're only in each city for 2 to 3 days max, and so and even within that, there's a lot of moving around, and so every few days you're switching your living situation. Every few days you're having to take literally everything you own and travel with it, you know, on some form of public transportation when we're going city to city. In town, we typically will have drivers and we'll have our own personal vehicle, so that helps. But like I said, it's on the on the go. Bringing something small to entertain yourself, like, you know, I always bring little music making things, something small I can fit, but then also, you know, it gives us a communal thing we can do together. We always have little jam sessions in the van where it's like everybody beat on something, you know, everybody make a noise with something, and we end up having these really unique and incredible times, you know, where we're all in the van making a song together, you know, like singing and beating on things, and I don't know, it's very special, but definitely pack light.
Just in the bag, got a bag as big as Phill.
Yeah, no, in some of the footage, a lot of this has you spitting bars over some stuff. It's awesome. Yeah, this is a good time.
Metha will bust out a beatbox and look me in my face like so
yeah.
it's like you gotta show up.
Yeah.
You're on.
We'll do it live. Amazing.
Maybe we can touch base on some of the hardship, because, you know, there's a lot to what we do that it's positive, and it brings, you know, the goal is to serve, right? The goal at the end of the day is to serve, and it sounds great, but also there's, you know, there's hardship to it. There's like moments where we have to adapt, you know, that we feel stressed, and like maybe just wanna talk about those things so people can also be, you know, let's be real, you know?
Yeah, dude.
So people can be ready, because it's if you're gonna do a tour, it's not like easy peasy, you know. It's like it takes being there, and being there takes a lot.
Yeah.
Like Fry, as if you saw the premiere, Fry was sick. Fry got the flu, and he was down bad, and after, you know, he got it, I ended up getting it, because, you know, Fry is my guy. So we're, you know, when we're traveling, I was like, I'm sitting with Fry, you know, like that's my like, guy on the tour. And so, you know, it was tough because you got two of your instructors that are like with the flu, you know, and contagious, feeling awful, full body, you know, just feeling horrible.
Yeah.
And still having to do your part, you know, because when we're going to some of these places, we can have 100 people there or more for the clinics, and we let them split into what they want to do. So I'm always the grinding instructor. So if I'm sick, you know, and we go to a clinic and I got 30 kids that want to do grind class, I still got to teach grind class, but I also still have to be mindful that I'm sick, you know, and I don't want to get anyone else sick. And so you're feeling awful, but you got to put that smile on, you know, and like you're doing your best, you're teaching kids, you're seeing them get results, but then you got to also remember, like, oh, I can't like run up and give you a hug or like give you a sweaty five because I'm sick, you know. So, you know, that was one of the things. I think the toughest part, I think the toughest challenge, at least for me personally, on last year's tour was the bus ride. I don't remember if it was from Morelia or if it was from Chiapas, but it was an overnight bus ride that would normally take 10 hours that ended up taking 16 hours. And unfortunately, at the current time, there were a lot of illegal immigrants coming from Guatemala and other Central South American countries that were traveling through Chiapas to get into Mexico. And so the stops, like there's road checks on, you know, these interstates, and some are by state police, some are by the federal police, you know, like there's different types of police, and they each have their own checkpoints. And what was interesting is, you know, we get on the bus, me and Metha, and we think we got like a good spot and everything, and turns out our spot was not good. And we ended up sitting with a group of illegal people that were trying to enter the country. And so at the very, you know, first checkpoint, they were coming and they were checking my passport every time, coming directly to me, get my passport. So that was annoying because I would watch them literally walk on a whole bus past everybody, come straight to me, you know, and check my papers.
Yeah.
But then they would get to those people, and it was like once the first group found out that they were illegal, they called one guy off, and we're there for like an hour, just stopped waiting. And we're thinking like, oh boy, you know, what's happening? Then the guy comes back on the bus, and they have a little meeting, and apparently they were making them pay. So it's like, okay, well, you can either go to jail or you can pay us. And so they paid. But then once that was established, it was literally like they would call the next stop. And I remember at one point we stopped for an hour. The people get back on the bus starts to move, and within 2 minutes we're stopped again. And it's a different type of police, and they come straight on the bus and literally walk straight to me first, and then straight to the people like that were illegal, and pulled them right off and did the same thing. And so that was really a struggle because, you know, you're getting harassed every time, but also like you're already in an uncomfortable situation, and it's being extended, you know, like we were supposed to be in there for 10 hours. We're in there for 16 hours. That's more than half the time added to it. And it was a struggle, you know, to try to maintain your positivity and you know, make it.
Say it again.
Then we got there and we had to demo because it was already late.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and I mean hustle. Like it was no time to eat, and if you had to poop or something, like good luck, you know. We were late. We gotta go. We gotta get there. They're waiting for us.
Yeah. Ouch.
But my personal experience, that was the hardest part of the whole tour. So for me, like, okay, if that's as bad as it gets, I'm with it.
That's good.
Yeah, I think that was the Chiapas bus ride from Chiapas.
Yeah.
What you got, Dale?
I was gonna say
for you, Dale.
I mean, I think very similar to what you're saying. Like, you know, one, like pack light, because I you know, had all my camera gear, so that didn't really help out, honestly. And then plus the stuff, because like, you know, it was my first time on the tour, so I didn't really know what to expect. So I packed like certain things that I really probably didn't need to. And so that made it a struggle to kind of travel, honestly, easily. And so that was kind of a pain in the ass. And then, but I mean, you know, I had a slightly different experience than what you did, Phil. I was kind of lucky, I think, in that respect with bus ride. I mean, you know, they came and checked my papers too, but you know, I always just kind of had my head down. I was like asleep. I'm a heavy sleeper too, so I can kind of sleep like anywhere, so which is kind of nice. And so a lot of times, like I just honestly, those long bus rides actually were not as difficult for me. But still, nonetheless, it's still like super long and like, you know, really annoying for the fact that they were so long and like how many times we did stop that first time. I found that like pretty shocking, honestly. And then I think there's like that first bus ride, and I think the last bus ride where we got stopped, I think multiple times.
Yeah.
Where like the last bus ride was kind of similar actually to the Chiapas one, but not as bad, I think. But still, I think we still had a few hours added to that bus ride. So yeah, if you're on the tour, I would say be prepared for stuff like that. You know, I've never been on a bus that long, let alone twice in like a 3-week span. It was pretty crazy. And so you just gotta have to kind of get used to those like pretty uncomfortable situations with traveling and stuff like that.
What would you say, Cam?
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's all like be prepared for difficult times that you may have never experienced before, but I think that's part of the adventure, and I think the tour does a good job at recovering from stuff like that. You know, like there's intentional times that we get together and we, you know, feed each other love, and then also we go out into nature and have intentional nature things for people on the tour, you know, just to like reconnect and you know, be ready for that next spot. And yeah, sometimes you don't have the luxury of, you know, getting that before the spot, but like we'll make sure that you get it through like love. If you need it, you know, if someone's struggling on tour, there's always support. People are going to step up. You know, Phill wanted to take a break. He won't take a break because he's Phill, but if he wanted to take a break and he's sick, there's always going to be someone who can help support him in that, you know, like the tour is good at that. So Yeah, be prepared for that, but also be prepared for a life-changing experience. You know, something that you'll come back from and never be the same. So
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
the takeaway for me.
I mean, like, you know, I've been to Mexico before, but it was like more like tourist stuff, and this is like you're like in it, you know. It's like much more real than the tourist stuff, and it's honestly it's really often like awesome experience, you know. So seeing all the people out there, and all the food that's out there, like that was really enjoyable, honestly. Just eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Tito is gonna be in the tour again this year, so
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought Tito was like the MVP of the tour. Honestly, he was like the most positive guy. And, like,
Tito's
willing to do
boy.
like anything. Honestly.
If you're watching this, what's up, Tito? Puro time. That's my puro partner right there.
He was always ready. Yeah.
Love it. Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, what else do you want to cover, Metha? Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I think basically just stories, man. Like it's funny to go in such a crazy journey, you know, like what Dale was saying, you know, it's long 3 weeks and you go from place to place, you go from experience to experience, but the shift of things, like the drastic shift of things is such a remarkable thing for me, you know. Like one day we're like waking up trying to figure out like what's gonna be the day for that day because it's the day off, and then we end up in nature and we end up meeting locals and we end up having an extreme beautiful situation where we, for example, there's one shot that you see there in the video that you had showing before, where you see this huge waterfall and it looks beautiful. Little that you know, we're like in this nice beautiful pond looking at this gorgeous waterfall, but this pond that we're in has nothing to do with that waterfall, and that waterfall is just trash water. Right? And like just that crazy contrast of like realizing we are blessed to be here, but we're also so blessed to have the life that we have, to be able to experience that we do these things that we experience as bladers, dude. Like just because we are in this community, we can help so much just by being ourselves, dude. Like just by being you know. Like the fact that the first year that Phill came on board, there's like 3 different families that every single year are looking for him, you know. You know, you mark lives for long term.
Yep.
You know, like I think that's like crazy. And then to see that from the like one-on-one into the big effect, right? I know like for Phill and I, like seeing that Fry went to Rome was huge.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, you want to touch on that a little bit though, because like I don't know
Yeah.
if people really know what happened with that.
About them going to Rome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the teams got like picked this year. Like the people that won the competitions nationally got picked this year. But there were no competitions nationally organized because we didn't have representation in the federation in Mexico as aggressive skaters. So having the tour help Daniel connect with the federation, tell them, hey, this is what we're doing seriously. And then from there, he was able to connect with 3 other people that we work with around the tour to formalize the tour of their own competitions to actually get qualificatory representation to go to the games. And it ended up being that 2 of our coaches, and I mean, one of them is the main organizer, Daniel, and another coach qualified to go to Rome as a, you know, vetted by the federation. And then Fry was one of the people that won all the comps and got to go to Rome, and they were able to raise funds to send them and everything. And you know, they have no money, but they're there, you know. And all of this is like a cascade of events that we have a little bit of a hand on just because we show
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I think one of the coaches though wasn't able to make it though, just because of that though too, like lack of funds.
If he wasn't able to make it, he wasn't able to get enough funds.
Yeah, it was
And
unfortunate.
one thing a lot of people don't realize is Mexico is not like United States, where like in United States, you want to get a passport and visa, you just go to the post office, or go to your CVS and get your passport photo made, and then you go and actually, fill out documents to get your passport. It's easy. You just pay the fee for the passport. In Mexico, it's not like that. In order for you to get a passport, you have to have like a long time job. Basically, they want to see that you've been working a job for an amount of time, and it's very expensive, and you have to get sponsors and stuff. It's not like here where you just go and you pay and you do it. And so Mexico has phenomenal rollerblading talent. Some of the best rollerbladers in the world, some of the best undiscovered skaters right there, and still skating. And so the issue is a lot of these people just don't have access. And so Mexico has pretty much made it to where you have to be a rich person to get a passport. And so, to see Fry, who's amazingly good and could win contests all over the world, finally get his first trip out of Mexico. Finally, he's never left Mexico before. Is great, and hopefully he can continue that, because I don't know if anybody, outside of us, the people that are watching this stream, I don't know if you all saw, but Fry murdered in the street comp. He was on point. I think he finished 6th overall or something. Like, he was definitely in the top 10.
Dude.
At one point, he was in 3rd place. He put it down, and he trained so hard, to be at that level that he is. And so it's nice to finally see him have that opportunity to be able to travel and make a name for himself all over the world.
Yeah.
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 Dude, honestly.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's his first trip out of Mexico though. That's quite the trip.
Yeah.
It's quite a trip at home, right?
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be awesome though to see was it Viejo? That's his name, right?
But
Viejo. I felt like really bad for him not to make it, honestly, because like, just like Fry, he's so good too at skating. Like, he's amazing, that guy.
Yeah.
He was the first pro out of Mexico. He was on razors and yeah.
Oh, really?
Man, yeah.
He's been around for a while. So, but like, awesome guy too. But so I felt really bad for him not being able to make it.
Yeah. I'm glad that some of the team was able to, though. Fry was killing it, and I mean, he's absolutely phenomenal blader, so there's no doubt. But it looks like he's having a good time out there. I love it.
Right.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
beauty is this was just the first run, and so like the next go round, hopefully, now that they know how things are going, they'll be able to send more great skaters out there, like John Pino. Man, if John got out there, I don't know, Mexico's got a few people that are like top world contending level rollerbladers.
Yeah, definitely.
And
I think
you need the opportunity to be able to get to these events to showcase what they can do and actually get the world's attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like Mexico's been like that forever though. Like, untapped talent, basically, right?
Mm-hmm. What's interesting too about Mexico and this tour is, the majority, I would say 60% of the people that we interact with on the tour are underprivileged people. And you'll show up to a clinic and there'll be people destroying, like just ripping, and then you get close to them and you can actually see their skates, and it's like you don't even recognize the brand because a lot of them don't have access to the brands we do. We can get any skate, we can get an Icon from Germany, we can get an Adapt, we can get a Rossi from Italy, we can get whatever skate we want because we have the access, whereas they don't. And mostly because of tariff, travel, taxes, that sort of deal, shipping, and so customs, that whole like international, you know, money that's added to your price of a skate. And so you'll see brands that you never knew exist. Like there's a brand called Black, and the skates look like, you know, original sabotages or remedies before they were making a skate that looked like Jordan, you know, when they had like just a plastic boot. Like you'll see these skates, you're like, this looks like an 80s or 90, like my first rollback. But they're doing the hardest, craziest tricks, or like they'll have no wheels, no sole plate. Like you could see their liner through the boot, but they're still killing it, you know, and
Be very
not even concerned that their skates are trash. They're just having fun rollerblading. That's all they're thinking about. And so it's really like it's humbling, you know, because you see like how much access you have and how much you take for granted, you know, these little things. Like if I mess up my wheels, like I was at the skate park a couple of days ago. We just got out here to Oklahoma, and I go to the skate park, and my right skate, the wheels like going because it's cord. There were 2 people that were like, "Yo, you need wheels? I got you." And like, boom, fresh, brand new, unused Carlos burnout wheels. Here you go, thank you, with bearings. I'm like, wow, this is amazing, you know. Like, whereas there, it's not like that, you know. These people go through their wheels, they're skating on cord wheels and still skating, still doing hard tricks, still having the best of their life. They're not focused on like, oh, my equipment sucks, you know, or this isn't name brand, or these aren't even aggressive skates. You know, like you'll see kids that can do grinds and they're in rec skates, straight up. Like, you know, so the love and the level of appreciation is just shown. Like you just, it's just obvious. Like, not that it doesn't exist with us,
right?
But it's just a lot easier for us. And so when you see people that like, it's just hard for them to even get skates, and they're doing it, you know, it really makes you kind of step back and think about perspective.
That's good.
Yeah, I think about it like we are privileged here, and we have all these accessibility things where everything is so easy, and we don't really see it from that perspective until you really go there. But like what it is for me is it's like we're using our privilege to help people that are not privileged. Because like one instance for me in the tour was like, we went to the skate park, normal day for me, you know, like we're just going to the skate park, we're gonna session, we're gonna help these people. I'll do that every day. That's a normal session for me, and I'm just experiencing my life that way. I do that, I have fun, and then at the end of the day, you know, there's these people that were walking away from the skate park, and they're like, hey, I just wanted to let you know the impact that you had on being here for us. And they're like, we've been trying to get this skate park fixed for years. You know, there's cracks, it was terrible, like all these things were so bad, but like just us showing up, the privilege that we have, they cleaned that place up. The government, the local government cleaned it up, they painted it, they fixed everything that was wrong with it. And like, and it was because of our privilege, you know, like we came there and I was like, oh, normal experience, you know. I didn't have those years of like trying to be like, hey, can you fix our skate park? This, you know, care about us. But then, you know, these guys from America are coming in and they want to help your community, and oh, well, this is going to make them look good. But like, either way, like it helped everyone, you know, and they were so thankful for that. Just us showing up, and so that hit me really hard.
Remember one time that we were at Vallejo's skate park, like the one in Morelia, and the lights turn on, and everyone started screaming because they didn't have lights, and they just turned them on because we were there.
Oh my goodness!
When I said like it's not like they didn't have lights that you know, no, they had to fix the lights. They fixed them just because we were there.
Wow!
So all those people were like amazed that the skate park had light, you know, and all of us were there at the same time when the lights went on, and everybody went like, "Whoa!"
That's crazy. Yeah. That's what it takes. But I mean, that's awesome that at least you can bring that kind of change with you, because if anything, those people deserve that their skate park's taken care of. So that's really cool to hear.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I remember in a couple places the local media would come out as well and cover us, just like being there. We're just like, it's
or
kind of
like
crazy.
or we'd have to go and meet the governor, and like he wants to
Yeah.
take pictures with us and stuff. We're just like,
Yeah.
what?
That is
We
so
have a meet and
surreal.
greets.
I love that.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah, that's very strange, but you know, it's crazy to see that level of support from a local government like that. It's nice that they're so accommodating and so welcoming of us down there. But yeah, no, I'm interested that we don't see that nearly as much out here.
Cameron said, you know, we bring the privilege, and they're like, all right.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's one of those. It's like a bittersweet thing because it's like that's awesome, but at the same time, I wish that's not what it took. But you know, we'll do what we can.
Well, it's like the start of it, though,
Well,
right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, we're changing. We're planting that seed. That seed
Yeah.
is planted now, and like Metha said, it's going to be a thing that operates on its own now.
So cool.
And we're giving them an opportunity to have it. But like, we could have that here too. You know, like in the States, we could also start creating sustainable community things that are bringing young kids in and families. Like that's not just in Mexico. Sure, they're more open to it, and it's a place that is receiving the benefits of that right now. But like, yeah, do this home, build your own community, find skates for kids. You know, like Phill was saying, they have this event they're doing in Oklahoma, and they're giving away like 30 plus skates to kids every year. Like, dude, that's community building right there. Like, that's what we need to be doing. Like, this tour isn't just that. This tour is like it's a different way of looking at how you can go and serve your ego in a way, you know, like, because it feels good to serve other people. It doesn't always feel good to be the best at something, you know. I don't know. That's
great
my
perspective.
on
Yeah,
it, you know,
great
like,
perspective, Cam. That is fantastic. I love that. No, that's beautiful. Hearing your guys' perspective on this really has it made it so much more emotionally valid to me too. It's like I knew you guys were doing great stuff, but hearing that's crazy. That like, yeah, you guys are making such change down there. I absolutely love that. Cool,
There's
man.
so many things other than that, you know. There's like ripples through everything, right? Like there's people that just because they were on the tour, they got to have a conversation with somebody else, and now they write for a different, like there's people are skating for Beyond, which is a store in Mexico that goes like, it has 5 different stores. Now they're like formalizing, like Chicas Roller is like they're having regular clinics with them on the regular. They're like having people that are writing now. Like I don't know if you know Pino, but Pino is like writing full on for them now.
Nice.
Awesome.
And so on, like, but like little things that are like not usually thought about. Like there's so many people, like we said, that are pro level, like global competitive level in Mexico, but why are they not showing up? Why are they not like showcased in our videos? Why are people not like sharing viral media streams of these amazing skaters? Why are the company not picking them up and touring them around the world? Like all of them produce content for Racers Mexico. All of them produce content for different things for different brands within Mexico, right? But they don't get the support. They don't get the level of support. Like, and just by Fry being in the tour, with the tour, created a spark that created a link for Fry now being part of the faction. You know, now Fry being part of the faction team is the only Mexican in the faction team. Is the only Mexican actually representing faction, and is in the World Games. You know, like all of these are like things that are showing to other people in Mexico, hey, it can happen. It will happen. We just have to find the right way. We just have to connect to the right people, and we go there to try to offer networks.
Yeah.
So they can connect, like he connected with Cameron. You know, it takes effort because obviously Fry works. Fry works so hard at blading, so hard. At blading.
Yeah, but not only blading. He's not only just a blader. The dude is like one of the biggest community supporters, builders, humans like out there. Like he's not just doing the blading. He's the best skater, but he's also the best dude, you know, like all around, and he deserves everything that he's getting. Yeah.
100%.
We love you, Fry.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's been about an hour. I gotta get to work here in about half an hour-ish. Got any wrapping up thoughts?
Support us if you can. Join us if you can. DM us. If you have any questions, please DM us. You know, like anything. If you have questions about how anything is going to be invested or used, like there's an explanation on the website that they'll put together for us very nicely. Just like Phill said, share a picture of the flyer. Talk to people about it. We're just trying to do what we can, and anything helps.
Absolutely.
Yeah, any small donation helps for sure. It goes all to the tour.
Awesome.
There's also a live campaign for fundraising for the tour in IG. If that's easier for you to go through IG, you can do that too. Instagram.
All right. Good stuff. Yeah.
And if you feel like this is your calling, if this is something that you've been wanting to do, and you feel like this is your opportunity, hit us up. Like send Metha a DM, send me a DM. Like, if you are seriously interested in joining the tour, let us know. We would love to have you join us and be a part of this great experience.
Ideally, you can join for the whole tour, but that's also not required. Just you keep that in mind as well. Like if you can take a week off to come in, like take a week off, come in. And we can figure out how to add you onto it.
Yep. Here are they, like what Spook is showing right now on the screen is the cities where we're gonna be at. The first 3 cities have an international airport, so if that suits you better, you can do that. The last 3 cities too. Like Europan is the only one that you won't be able to fly internationally to, but the other 3 you will be able to. Coahuila, which is the last one, is Monterrey. Coahuila is just a state, but it's Monterrey. So if you wanna research that, or like again, just send us a DM. I'm down to talk. I'm down to jump in a phone call. I'm down to jump in a video call. Talk to you about anything that you need to know about the tour. Like I'm super invested in this, so I don't ever hold back from talking about it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, gentlemen, it's been a good morning. Thank you all for being here and for coming in such short notice. It's awesome. This is the most amount of people we've had on the stream at once, so this has been fun.
Well, now you know.
Now we know. Now we know. Well, sweet. Phill, I hope you have fun at your street session today.
Let's go. Thank you.
Of course. Dale, Cam, you guys getting in a skate anytime soon?
My ankle's kind of messed up, so it's kind of tough for me. But every Wednesday in New York City, Wednesday night skate.
Okay. Well, I hope that ankle feels better soon. Cam, how's your shins? Last time we talked, you took a turnstile to the shins.
Yeah. No, I'm good now.
You good?
I'm good.
Okay.
I've been filming a street park and skating as much as I can. I skipped the last couple Wednesdays because of that Tuesday night skate beating me up, like 38 miles or 30 plus miles on one night, and they're like going as fast as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tuesday night skate. Oof. Yeah, no, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Well, what'd you say, Metha? I cut you off. Sorry.
I said I wouldn't be able to keep up with them. They go so.
Oh man, if Metha can't keep up, I ain't even considering that. Holy cow.
Yeah, there's like speed skaters on like 110s and 125s and stuff like that. And I think one night they did like 12 bridges. I was like,
yeah, I did it. Yeah, that was the night.
That
was
oh
my second night. Yeah, it was insane.
Jesus,
of
dude.
course.
Insane.
Oh man. All right. Well, gentlemen, again, thank you so much for being here. If you have the ability to send any amount of donation over to the links I put in the chat or in the description, please do. Any and all that will go to the tour. The tour is clearly doing some amazing things, as you heard here today, not just showing people skating, which is cool in itself, but connecting communities together, showing them the resources that each other has, and then more than anything, also showing the government that we're here, we're doing this is important to us, and we can help people by doing it, which is just phenomenal in all aspects. So again, thank you guys for doing that. Metha, you've done an amazing job setting up that event with the help of your whole team. The whole Get Rollin team has done so good making that happen. Dale, Phill, Cam, Metha, thank you so much for being here and for doing all that you do all the time. You guys are great. I love you guys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Of course, of course. All right, guys. Well, it's time for me to get out of here. Thanks for being here. I will see y'all later. Later, Bladers.
Later.
All right. I